I call the honourable member for Dawson.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the most productive Minister for Environment that we've had for a while. I refer the Minister to the list of entities liable for the carbon tax published by the Clean Energy Regulator on the 14th of February that shows Mackay Sugar and Wilmar Sugar Refining paid a carbon tax bill of $1.9 million each in 2012-2013. What impact has the carbon tax had on manufacturing in Australia, and why should the tax be repealed immediately?
I call the honourable Minister for the Environment.
Well, thank you very much to the most productive member for Dawson in many years. And he's not just that, he represents the sugar capital of Australia,
There'll be silence on my
and he's
left.
a great supporter of the sugar industry himself.
And the member for
But I have bad news. I have bad news for the member for Dawson. We heard during the election campaign from none other than the former Prime Minister, Mr Rudd, that the carbon tax had been terminated. It hasn't. Only today we have more news from the Senate. The Senate continues the strike from Labor senators. 3 months and 4 days since the carbon tax bills were introduced into the Senate, no decision, no outcome. It's work to rule. The Leader of the Opposition has brought his union tradition into this House and into the Senate, and he has his boys and girls on strike in the Senate. So we would say to the Leader of the Opposition, if you are serious about being productive, if you are serious about cost of living, if you are serious about the impact on manufacturing and other Australian firms, bring your senators back to work and get them to vote on repealing the carbon tax. Because what that means for Mackay Sugar and Wilmar Sugar is a $1.9 million hit on their businesses and their workers and their consumers each year, whether that's the Mackay plant, whether that's the Yarraville plant. But it's part of a broader problem, a bigger problem, of a $1.1 billion hit on Australian manufacturing. That's chemicals, that's cement, that's food, that's glass, all of these great Australian firms. And that is why, when you look at the roll call of Australian industry, they are saying it's time for the Senate to vote. What we heard from the Australian Industry Group in the last week, Australia's carbon tax is one of the highest in the world. It is making our key industries less competitive every day. What we've heard from the Australian Forest Products Association, we ask that the Senate promptly passes the bills to remove the carbon tax. It's in our national interest. The Australian Aluminium Council, it's clearly the government's intention and a position that the Australian Aluminium Council supports that this legislation be passed. The cement industry supports the carbon tax repeal legislation. The Minerals Council says it's necessary because it's a poorly designed response to climate change. The Food and Grocery Council urges the Senate to pass the carbon tax bill without delay. So there is a reason that all of these firms and all of these industries want the Senate to vote on the carbon tax repeal, and that is because it's affecting jobs, it's affecting costs, it's affecting competitiveness. It's within the gift of the Leader of the Opposition to bring his senators back to work. I say to the Leader of the Opposition, get out of the way and repeal the carbon tax.